What's up, guys? My name's Brandon Shepner. You can follow me at BUFFoonBrandon. You can follow the podcast at BUFFoonBrandonbanter. A few weeks ago, I got to go to New York City, and I had a bunch of comedy shows I went to. I went to a couple shows at UCB. I got to do the jam on Sunday at UCB, the improv jam, and open house and everything. Met a lot of cool people. I went to, I don't even know how many stand-up shows. I got to go to see Jeff Ross on Broadway. And I wrote a lot in some cool coffee shops, and just loved the city. I love New York. I might move there someday. I'm realizing now because I just really love it, and I hope I get the opportunity to move there someday. Anyway, I had a lot of fun there, and part of my trip, I decided I wanted to do some man on the street interviews with people in Central Park. So that's what this is. I just went out with my recorder. I did have my phone for video for a bit, but it didn't really work out. So I'm just going to release audio only. I had some genuinely cool conversations. I had some tough conversations that I kind of wish maybe I would have approached differently, or I would have said some things differently, or, I maybe went off on a tangent that I don't think represented my thought as well as I was hoping to explain myself. But, such is life. We just have to keep moving on. Just keep learning from mistakes, or whatever you want to call it, because I still genuinely enjoyed most of the conversations that I had, all the conversations I had, even the ones I didn't really agree with. I'm just releasing the full interviews, and I'm just curious of people's thoughts. I know I didn't say things perfectly. I know other people didn't say things perfectly. But nobody's perfect in life, and all we can do is grow and hope to learn from each other. And that's what I want to do. I want to have conversations with people that are different than me, so we can share ideas and see where we can connect and bridge those connections, because there's too much disconnection in the world and in our lives by design, because that's how society goes, is part of goes in the decline, as if we buy into the differences instead of what connects us. So I hope you enjoy these conversations. Let me know what you think. I'm happy to discuss ideas, and I just hope that you at least, come to me with some grace, because we all say and do things differently from each other, and we're all learning. And so I hope that you offer me the same grace that I will offer you. Anyway, enjoy New York. I love New York. What's up, guys? It's me, Brandon. I'm here in Central Park right now, near the Grand Lawn, and I'm just asking people what kind of world problems they want solved, and if they have any ideas for solving them. So, yeah. Hopefully we can talk to some cool people. Hi, can I ask you guys a question for a podcast?
We are on the way to the party.
Okay, all good. No good. All good. Hi, could I ask you a question for a podcast?
No, thank you.
Okay, no worries. Hey guys, can I ask you a question for a podcast?
Sure.
What's your names?
Danny, Ramsey.
Danny and Ramsey?
Yes.
Nice, I'm Brandon.
Nice.
What's a world problem that you guys would want to solve? I know that's broad.
Yeah, you're putting me on the spot here.
Anything.
I don't know, lots of problems.
Just pick one.
Let's say healthcare.
Healthcare?
Yeah.
Do you have an idea, like a unique idea on healthcare that you think we could work towards?
He lives in Canada, so
Yeah,
he
so
probably
I'm
he wants
biased.
universal
I'll say
healthcare.
universal.
Oh, fuck yeah. I'm right there. I live in Cleveland, actually.
Okay,
and,
not too far.
I talked to one of the state reps that is talking about statewide universal health care, actually, and he introduced a bill in Ohio to be like Ohio universal health care. So
How'd that go?
it's just starting.
Okay.
So hopefully it turns into something, or at least, turns into, or starts some momentum towards it anyway. Cool. Yeah, I just, what about you? Do you have any problems or something?
I'll say cost of living. I think it's very noticeable, especially in New York. Like over the past 3 to 5 years, everything's gotten significantly more expensive, and I think a lot of people are struggling to keep up.
Yeah, so in Cleveland, I guess, with cost of living and apartments and stuff, there's a lot of companies that own like mass apartments and stuff like
Complexes
that.
and
Yeah,
stuff like that,
complexes
yeah.
and stuff like that. And so it's like strictly for financial gain, and so like the money is the driver of everything.
Yeah.
And so I'm guessing it's probably similar or probably even worse here. Like, is that true, or is it kind of more regulated? Like, kind of.
I'm not too sure on the housing side of things, but just in terms of like the subway prices have gone up multiple times over the past few years. Like
How much
the
did
cost
it
of
used to be? It's $2.90 now.
It's $2.90 now. It used to be $2.75. I think they're trying to increase it to $3. I think
Oh,
they had
shit.
a hearing a few weeks ago.
And it's little incremental things that don't seem like a lot at the moment, but they add up. Yeah.
They add up over time. So
Yeah.
I think that's a big issue.
Yeah. Well, cool. I thank you guys for stopping.
Yeah, thank you.
Duncan and Ramsey?
No, Danny.
Danny and Ramsey.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Mine right
Yeah. Take care, guys. Hi. Can I ask you a question for a podcast?
Sorry, thanks.
Okay, all good. Hi. Can I ask you a question for a podcast? All good. Hi. Can I ask you guys a question for a podcast? Okay, all good.
Absolutely.
Can I ask you a question for a podcast? All good.
Didn't I tell you about the time we were crossing the street?
Hi. Can I ask you guys a question for a podcast?
Yeah.
Sure. I'm Brandon. What's your name?
Eric.
Eric. Nice to meet you.
How are
Are you from New York?
Yes. Live in the
Nice. What's a world problem that you want to be solved?
neighborhood. Political violence.
Political violence. Do you have any
Yes.
unique ideas or approaches to it?
Turning down the rhetoric.
Turning down. Yeah, for sure. I guess how would you? What are some steps that we could take to kind of help with that?
That's a very difficult one. The problem that we have is that people are financially incentivized to push people's buttons. And that's what people are going to do.
Because they're
It gets clicks.
yeah,
It gets,
going for the reaction.
If you're a
rather
politician, it helps you raise money.
than, yeah,
So basically, we're being pushed to the two extremes because people are incentivized to do so, both in media and politics.
yeah,
And it's creating this horrendous divide, and it's basically bringing out the worst in everybody.
yeah. It pushes people to the fringes. It's causing the disconnection and
Yeah.
everything
If
by
you-
design.
If
yeah.
you're middle of the road, you're not. Nobody cares what you say. Unfortunately, they might care, but it's not going to get clicks, and it's not going to raise money, and it's.
To me, middle of the road is it feels like it's more like uninformed, like because I grew up in Southeast Ohio, and a lot of people they just disconnect. They don't want to learn about it, and so they just hope that it doesn't affect them.
Right.
You know what I mean, or whatever, or they go the other way and fight against they become hard right Republicans and stuff like that. But I guess.
Or hard left Democrats. That could happen as well.
Well, sure, yeah. I lean more left, so I feel, but I guess, yeah, I understand that there's not there's not one perfect way to be.
No, certainly not. No one's going to get everything. That's what people have to figure out and learn.
Yeah, so
There is not. If anything that's perfect for anyone is not going to work for everyone.
yeah. Well, I agree to a point, but I also agree I believe that there's there's a certain punching down that people do when it comes to people just trying to live their lives. If you're allowing everyone to just live their lives, then we're kind of living in a world with balance or whatever. But whenever it comes to impinging on other people's rights or the way that they want to live, when it doesn't affect anyone else, and when it's especially rooted in religion that religion is. Sorry, I'm going off too many tangents here, but I
Okay.
feel like religion is being used maliciously right now because, like, by some people,
Sure.
because we're all like kind of humans, you know. That's one universal fact, and so if we can get to a point where we recognize that rather than one person's ideology or one group's ideology
Right.
being above even our human level.
Yeah,
you know,
but I think people should be able to
universalness.
coexist. If, like, I happen to not be, you know, I mean, I know it's very the assassination of Charlie Kirk is obviously the hot issue right now.
Sure.
And he was a very religious man. I'm not, but he
either,
didn't bother me in any way, shape, or form. Like, he's entirely entitled. He was entirely entitled to his view and his religion, his religious beliefs, whether I share in them or not. And
He's
I
entitled to
personally
it.
didn't now, or don't. But I think it becomes problematic when it's First Amendment. You know, it's your free speech rights, right? You're
Yeah.
allowed to hold those opinions, and it doesn't affect me. You know, I know none of this is going to be solved, you know, in one conversation, but and it's very complicated.
Yeah.
But he's entitled to his rights, his point of view, and people who believe what he believes are equally entitled, and people who believe the opposite are entitled. The question is how does this experiment, you know, the United States of America, this great experiment, how do people learn to live with each other that don't agree with one another? You know, and that's what we've lost.
Yeah.
That's what we've lost. I didn't used to have to know everyone's political point of view. You know, I
Yeah.
could have 100 friends or people in my universe or my community. I didn't have to know everyone's political point of view, and we could get along fine. Now all of a
Yeah.
sudden, it's like everything's become a 50-50 coin toss. Like,
And
am
it's
I
a
your
team
enemy,
sport,
or am I your foe or your friend? Like, that's the problem.
Yeah.
You know, you and I might have different political opinions, but there's no reason why we couldn't be friends.
100%.
And that's what we've lost. So
Yeah, and circle back real quick on the rhetoric. Like, it feels like the thing, the loudest people are getting the clicks and stuff.
Of course.
And like Charlie Kirk gets a full military send off and everything like that. But then the same like there was a school shooting like
horrible,
in Colorado. Was it Colorado?
yeah,
up
same day.
Evergreen.
Yep.
And
yes, of
and-
course, doesn't get the
and it doesn't
clicks,
get anything.
Of course.
And-
I mean, that's always the case when it's a famous person, regardless of their politics, right? That's kind of a straw man argument to say
Sure.
why would these kids or whoever was shot on that, you know, horribly, you know, the violence. You know, people die every day,
Sure.
right? And when famous people die, it's news,
Right.
Regardless of what their politics
But they're aware of the optics that they're kind of putting on a pedestal and everything like that.
Of course.
Like, and
But
if we're not going to solve
if any
everything
other
in one-
famous person on the left died, it's going to be front page news, and you know there's going to be people that got killed that day, and they're not going to get the same coverage because they're not famous. That's going to that's a
Yeah.
straw man. That's not even a legitimate.
I've
I've read it. I've read it.
I didn't mean to be like a whataboutism type
Right.
argument or anything
Right.
like that. Yeah, because
But that's what gets done. That's what's out there. That happens,
Yeah.
and that's silly because that's simply divisive because that's not even a legitimate point. Because again, people die every day, but when famous people die, it's news.
Yeah, but I guess the reason he's famous to me is like for like reporting hate and like putting because like he even said he doesn't think empathy has any place in the world. And it like. Like again, that's his First Amendment right to have those
Right.
feelings and those
Right.
thoughts,
Right.
and I can't argue that he's wrong for thinking that. But
Right.
my opinion is empathy is what connects us, and if
I
we
totally
can
agree.
empathize with
but it's
people,
a spectrum, and that's where again gets taken
Yeah.
out of context. It's a spectrum. So at what point is, I don't want to say too much empathy, but in order for the system to work, yes, you need to have empathy, of course, but it's on a spectrum. So people need to be responsible for their outcomes to some degree
Yeah.
within a spectrum. And again, that's where that gets diced up and turned into a fight. When the reality is, empathy is vital, but it's on a spectrum. So it needs to be presented in that way. Otherwise, it's just being used
Right.
It's just being used, again, for clicks.
Right.
So I got to
Okay.
run.
Yeah,
But
good.
Thank you.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Eric?
Pleasure. Eric. Yes, sir.
Cool.
Take care.
You too. Thanks. Hi, could I ask you a question for a podcast?
About what?
I'm just asking people like a world problem that they want solved and a quick idea for if they have an idea for it.
Okay.
Okay.
I can give it a try.
Sure, yeah. I'm Brandon. What's your name?
Hi, I'm Rihanna.
What is it?
Rihanna?
Rihanna? Nice to meet
Rihanna.
you. Rihanna.
It rhymes with Vienna.
Okay, cool. Well, nice to meet you. Are you from here in New York?
Yes.
Nice. What part?
Upper East Side.
Upper East Side? Cool.
Yeah.
I'm from Cleveland, but I've
Okay.
been exploring for the last few days. So
Okay, nice.
Nice. So what's a world problem that you would like to be solved, and do you have an idea for it?
A world problem?
Just as broad or general as you want. It could be as silly or serious as you want.
Anti-Semitism.
Anti-Semitism. What's kind of some steps or an approach that we could kind of take to help make, curb that or, address that issue?
I think that it's rooted in fake news, a lot of it. Conspiracy theories, like throughout history, it was rooted in conspiracy theories and fake news and just scapegoating Jews.
Yeah.
And it kind of takes on a new form with every generation. So
Yeah.
when the evil was considered to be capitalism, like in the USSR, then the Jews were depicted as the wealthy capitalists, like with the big bellies. If the evil in a society is the communists, the Jews are depicted like the Julius and Julia Rosenberg, who were just given the death penalty because of like some theory that they were communists during the McCarthy era here. The Jews were depicted as the communists. And now when society is like the world sees colonialism as bad, they're trying to depict Jews as colonizers when this is like our ancestral homeland from the beginning of time. And there's a lot of fake news about Israel. I think that if people actually saw the truth and didn't believe like the Bollywood skits that the media like falls for,
Yeah.
they would see that the Jews are actually the most compassionate in Israel, and the IDF is the most compassionate army in the world.
Really?
Yeah. And it
I
has like the highest moral standards of like warning. Like I don't know another army that warns their enemy when they're about to attack, asking them to evacuate an area so they could just target Hamas.
But I don't want to speak out of turn because I am a little bit uninformed about the Palestine-Israel conflict, but I still believe like the otherism of anybody is part of the issue, and like it's
Of course, otherism is wrong.
But like the fact that they're warning that like, hey, we're going to attack. Is still they're attacking, and I've seen some videos of the IDF like brutalizing some like civilians and kids and stuff like that.
So they're warning because they're in a war. Like Hamas launched a war. They started a war
Yeah,
on
2
October
years ago,
7,
yeah.
and they brutally massacred in the most vicious, barbaric, sadistic manner,
Sure.
like absolute civilians.
Yeah, and that was
kidnapped
horrific.
hundreds. And so that's a war. You can't expect that there's not going to be a response, and Israel needs to deal with the underlying issue that allowed for that offense to happen, meaning the tunnel infrastructure and wherever the security breaches existed. So now they need to go back, and it's the most difficult place to wage a war because it's like the urban warfare. It's unprecedented, and most of all, Hamas uses their civilians as human shields,
And that's fucked up.
and is embedded in the hospitals, in the buildings, in the apartment buildings. So unfortunately, they're using their people as shields, and Israel doesn't want to. That's why Israel's warning them and saying, please leave this area because we know Hamas is here. We're gonna deal with Hamas, and.
But wasn't that kind of a result of Israel kind of suppressing Palestinians, like in the like they're not equal. They're not seen as equal. It's almost like a segregation of
Well,
class.
it's not really a segregation. Gaza functions, especially before October 7, effectively as like its own state, right? And there was always the other side that said that if you're going to give this state, it's going to leave room for just terrorism to flourish. And Israel still just believed in peace and unilaterally withdrew from Gaza entirely in 2005. Entirely. They uprooted so many Jewish families from their homes, from their beautiful greenhouse. There was just such a beautiful infrastructure and greenhouses that they developed, and really just were just so passionate about their land. And Israel, for the sake of peace and the promise of peace, unilaterally withdrew and gave them a state to function as, essentially it functioned as a state. And what they did with that state is use all the money and the international aid, including Israel's aid, and develop terror infrastructure, tunnels, terrorism, suicide missions. So they're not, and obviously they're a proxy of Iran, who's like the head of the snake that's guiding this all. But so it didn't really, they didn't really want a state. Right? They took that state and created a terror.
I see. So it was almost like that was a Trojan horse or whatever, like to get into the infrastructure or whatever.
Like if you just go back to the beginning of time, not even beginning of the time, let's just go back to 1948, or we have 1945, the Holocaust, the Jews perished in the Holocaust. We had the 1948 is the state of Israel, right? 1947, there was a partition plan by the UN, dividing the land, giving the better pieces of land to the Arabs and the worst piece of land to the Jews, the smaller piece of land to the Jews, the larger piece of land to the Arabs. That was a division. And the UN proposed it.
That was the UN, okay.
Neutral, right? They proposed it to both parties. The Jews said, we'll take it. Yes, it's smaller. Yes, it's the worst land, but we just want our homeland. We're going to take whatever we could. We're just going to be here. The Arab nation said, absolutely not. We're not going to accept it because we want all of it, from the river to the sea.
But they were already there, right?
They were both there.
Okay, yeah.
So they said, from the river to the sea, we're going to have all of it. And so they refused to accept it. And so this is really the underlying premise that's guiding everything from then. From that point, they are set on getting everything or waging war and terror and all this. And unfortunately leading to their own bloodshed first and foremost. Their people, like innocent civilians, are the biggest victims of this.
Yeah. So from an outsider's perspective, it feels like if we could kind of tear down the walls of religion in general and just look at each other as other humans.
This doesn't really have to do with religion, though. Like, why do we have to tear down religion? Why can't we remain Jews and why can't they remain Muslims or Christians or whatever?
It feels like the religion is where the rooted conflict is formed.
Why? Why is it a rooted conflict? If I'm a Jew and I have my ancestral homeland,
I'm not trying to take anyone's religion away from them. No. I might have misworded that. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So my point is, I feel I grew up Catholic. I don't identify with that anymore.
Okay.
I'm more of spiritual.
That's
sure.
up to you. I was raised Jewish and I love being Jewish. And
Sure.
I want to stay Jewish for the rest of my life.
And I kind of see most religions as like talking about the same universal energy and the same universal connectedness that people share, and like I feel like there's a lost connectedness that's like grown in the last maybe a couple centuries or whatever with technology and just like stuff like that. But I feel like the religions are like ideally is to help people be more in the moment and be more present and get into that flow state. I feel like the flow state is what...
I mean, these are all great. I think that with Judaism, you'll get into a flow state and you'll have like a really good connectedness. if you're practicing it correctly, but I wouldn't say being in a flow state is the core tenet of Judaism. There's so
and that's
much
just
more
an aspect
than
of
that.
it. Yeah, like
It's not even it wouldn't be the core of Judaism. Being in a flow state is not the core tenet of Judaism, because Judaism sometimes you won't have tranquility, but we like Jews, the way we survived was even when we were threatened with execution or expulsion, we still kept our faith. And that wasn't a flow state, because our religion and our faith is so much beyond our tranquility and being. If our end goal was being in a flow state, then I don't think that when we were threatened with murder or expulsion, like for example in the Spanish Inquisition, I don't think any Jew would not convert to Christianity to practice Judaism if the core was being in a flow state, because resisting the execution and hiding that I'm keeping my religious identity and my practice is anything but a flow state in those circumstances.
Well, circumstances change, but I feel like the faith that you would keep is definitely rooted in religion. And a part of my faith in humanity is still, I learned it through my religion, but I realized there's like a lot of malicious aspects to Catholicism and the Christian, like just how people use Christianity for excuses to do bad things, or like in the fact that all of the child molestation in the church, I don't mean to go off on different tangents, but like that's going on in the Catholic Church and they keep moving people around. So like those little things like that in Catholicism specifically, I'm not trying to paint
I don't know
any other
enough
picture
about Catholicism to speak about it. I think I respect all faiths.
Yeah.
As
And I
long
do
as your
too.
faith is not like, calling to murder other people
Well, and
who
that's-
are infidels or like not your religion, then I'm okay with all religions.
But
just let me keep my religion.
100%, yeah. And I hope I didn't I hope it didn't come off as me trying to say like your religion, that any religion should be suppressed or go away. Like I didn't mean to.
Yeah, I think we need everyone's entitled to their religion, and I'm very happy for everyone to practice their religion. I don't think the issue with anti-Semitism is really even rooted in religion, to be very honest with you, because how come Hitler targeted atheist Jews? He still considered them Jewish, even though they denied their religion and they were atheists. Because a Jew goes so much beyond just keeping the religion. You're a Jew because you're born a Jew.
Right.
Right? So if it was just religion as the core of the whole issue, Hitler wouldn't target atheist Jews. And why do atheist Jews still call themselves Jews if it's only about religion? Like, would a Christian atheist say, I'm a Christian atheist? Or they would say, I'm an atheist? Isn't it a paradox to call yourself a Christian atheist? But a Jewish atheist will always say, I'm a Jewish atheist. So that's just some food for thought. Because it's way beyond the religion.
Yeah.
It's a peoplehood. It's not just religion.
Yeah.
And so my point in bringing this up is that you're trying to paint this as a religious war. It's not. It's a peoplehood. It's our peoplehood, and we're entitled to a homeland. And we were okay with, the UN partition plan said, let's divide it. We'll give the smaller part to the Jews. We'll give the bigger part to the Arabs. And the Jews ran with it and said, sure, we'll live side by side in peace. We'll take our portion. We'll create our homeland because we're a people. And this is our homeland. And historically, yes, we're also a people who shares a religion. But there's no denying that we're a people even beyond the religion.
I didn't mean to paint it as a religious war. I guess the reason I was bringing that up is because it's a specific characteristic that the people in power use, and I say people in power very broadly, and I'm talking about the billionaires, like the
I have nothing against billionaires, to be very honest.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think a billionaire should exist. Like the fact that Elon Musk has
I
400 billion.
Work hard, whoever, it's obviously give charity, obviously help the poor, obviously build and use your money for the good, obviously get taxed. But if you're working legally and you're making money legally.
But legally doesn't mean morality. Like things that are.
What do you give me an example? I obviously believe in morality.
So
But
like,
why is
I mean,
all billionaires by definition immoral?
because they're using the capitalistic system that's currently in place is built by and supported by the billionaires, and
And why is that? What part is immoral?
they have like, theoretically, if there was a UFO, like, are you like UFOs and stuff like that? Let's I'm interested in that topic, and let's imagine that the government and like Lockheed Martin have UFOs and stuff like that, and they've been reverse engineering this, the 0 point energy. And so if they find out we have this technology now, the oil industry is going to want to suppress that, because the military, because the oil industry and fossil fuels and stuff have such a hold on control in the world, and then along with that is it's upheld by the military industrial complex, which is,
I mean, there's a lot of assumptions embedded in things you're saying.
No,
Can you tell me very simply why?
I'm getting there. I'm getting
okay.
there. So if that technology exists, then it would be in their interest to suppress this stuff. And I have seen a lot more talks of, like, the UFO. Like, there was just a UFO hearing just a few days ago in Congress, and there was like a Hellfire missile that hit, like a leaked video. Hellfire missile hit this UFO that was flying through, and it just deflected. And the U.S. is like, we don't know of any craft that can like hold, that can withstand a Hellfire missile or whatever. And it's just a bizarre video. My point in saying all of this is they like, the billionaires have the resources to be able to, like, and this is me taking a step back and not saying I assume or I believe 100%, because there's always room for error, and I don't know any of this for a fact. But it is still clear that they have the ability to suppress that if they wanted to, and they have, because like the media takeovers and stuff like that. Like, one media company has like 90% of the, like, whoever, I can't even remember who just bought Paramount, and they're like working to just, they're the ones that dictate, what news gets seen to most of the people in the world and stuff like that. And so they can control whatever narrative they want to make their story more relevant, I guess. And that's the issue, is so the
billionaires are so sympathetic to, like, just thinking about the war in Gaza. If that's the premise that you're going with, that what causes media amplification, and the media is all about the Palestinian struggle. Like, Rafah, it was news about.
They thrive in division, and that's what's going on here with the right versus the left and stuff like that. Just any dividing.
Oh yeah, I'm against all division as well.
Because we're all humans, and I think at a base level, if we all recognize that we're all humans, and like, I don't mean to get corny, but like John Lennon's Imagine song, like, imagine a world without borders, and all of that. Like, it's beautiful if we could really think about it that way and recognize that, like, I guess just to take it real quick full circle, my original point of bringing religion up is, like, I guess first I want to identify as a human, and then I want to identify with anything else. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and that's,
in Judaism,
I guess that's
one of the core, another core tenet of Judaism, we strive to be something. In Yiddish it's called a mensch. Mm-hmm. It means, it's essentially saying to be like a good human, a good person. A mensch is literal translation is a man, but we just want to be a good person first and foremost, and that comes before our Torah, it comes before practicing the religion. We first want to be a good person. And so, of course, I'm totally with you on being a good human first and foremost. At the same time, I'll just leave you with this because I have to go.
Yeah, okay.
The Talmud tells us that if you are kind when you need to be harsh, you'll end up being harsh when you need to be kind. And so if we're kind when we need to exhibit self-defense, security measures, if we're kind then, we're actually being harsh to the people we need to protect, like our citizens, our civilians. If we don't So you can't just being kind to the wrong people at the wrong time and putting your own people at risk and vulnerability for security. That's an issue, and that's not kind, right?
Right.
And so I just, of course, I'm all for all the flow, being in the flow and being tranquil and peaceful and no borders. I would love to live, God willing, in a time with, just imagine, in a peaceful world with everyone. I'm not against anyone's religions, but just don't take away my religion and don't take away my homeland and don't take away my right to my homeland. That's all. And so I think just circling back to where you started, I would love to solve a big world problem of anti-Semitism. And the reason why I think it's way beyond Jewish, it's not just a Jewish issue, because if you look throughout history at every single period where there was terrible anti-Semitism, society was crumbling. If you look at Germany, they allowed anti-Semitism, and look at Hitler, what he created and what he did to the Germans.
Yeah.
The Germans were a huge victim on so many levels of Hitler and the rampant anti-Semitism.
Yeah.
If you look at
I feel
the
like
pogroms,
we're all victims of Trump right now too.
I like Trump.
You do?
Yeah. God bless Trump.
But he like, what about the fact that he's on the Epstein list and
That's all speculation. I haven't seen it yet. I'm not going to get into it because I didn't see it. I want to see concrete evidence. Regardless, I think that Trump has been the best president in recent times for America and for Israel and for world peace.
Okay, I totally disagree, but I understand you have to go. But
Yeah.
Because I just.
But also, again, that's like I'm in the middle of telling you something so beyond a single president. Like I was you brought that in response to my claim that anti-Semitism is bad for the world, and I brought in Hitler. I was about to bring in pogroms in the Soviet Union or in pre-Soviet Union, the Tsarist regime in Russia and Ukraine. The terrible pogroms. What type of society was that? Was that a democratic society? Absolutely not.
We don't live in a democratic society right now. It's more of an oligarchy.
Okay, so I think we need to stay focused. You know, we're jumping. It's hard to answer when we just go out of scope. We're talking about one thing. You asked me about, again, just to tie it down linear. You asked me about an issue that I would want to solve. I said anti-Semitism. And I brought in how anti-Semitism is rooted in conspiracy theories, how anti-Semitism is rooted in bad societies, societies that are not democratic, are not the ideal society. And I am telling you that the one issue that I would want to solve is anti-Semitism, not just for me as a Jew, but I think it would help the whole world, because anti-Semitism is a plague that actually affects every society where it thrives. Society is on a downward spiral when they allow the cancer of anti-Semitism to fester in that society.
Yeah, in parallel, I feel like the trans community is affected similarly to what anti-Semitism is. Like, it's a specific group of people that's being targeted by Republicans right now, just simply for existing. They want to be able to live their own lives. They want to be able to get the care that they want.
I want everyone to live their own lives. I'm not, I don't identify with a specific party.
But I mean,
I want everyone to get the care they deserve. I want everyone to live a beautiful life. I love everybody. I love all of humanity. And at the end of the day, I want to live in a society where, imagine, there are no borders and no animosity. I am not against anybody at all. I'm not against any religion. I'm not against any person in this world, as long as they are peaceful and not threatening and not hateful to others. Or, you know, like, I think I'm against the Charlie Kirk's murderer. That would be a human I'm against. But other than that, if someone has an opinion, I'm not against that person, even if I disagree with their opinion.
I understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your time,
Yeah, it
Brianna.
was nice chatting.
Yeah,
Thank
you
you
too.
for pronouncing my name.
Yeah, no problem.
I wish you good luck. Good luck on your podcast.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
So what happens? What are you doing with it?
So it'll be on YouTube and Spotify. I normally do. You can check it out at BUFFoonBrandonBanter.
Wow, can I check it out?
Yeah. I've mainly been interviewing. Just I do improv and stand-up and stuff in Cleveland, and I've been interviewing comics, but
What is it
also
called, your podcast?
BUFFoonBrandon Banter.
How do you spell that?
BUFFoon. The green one.
No, I'll follow it.
Thanks. But I interviewed an Ohio State representative a few days ago, and
that's amazing.
really fun interview. And I just want to keep having cool conversations. And I've been visiting New York for a few days, so I just wanted to.
Oh, this is the best place.
Yeah, I'm loving it.
Every opinion under the sun.
Yeah.
Every viewpoint. Well, good luck on that.
Thank you.
That's amazing. Good luck to you.
Yeah,
and
thanks. You too.
All the best.
Thanks. Take care.
Bye.
Hey guys, would you want to answer a question for a podcast? Okay. Would you guys want to answer a question for a podcast? All good. Hi. Would you want to answer a question for a podcast? Hi. Would you guys want to answer a question for a podcast? All good. Would you guys want to answer a question for a podcast?
She doesn't. What's the
Okay.
question?
What's your name?
What's the question?
Oh, sure. So I'm just asking people a world problem or just any general problem that you'd like to solve. Like, it could be as silly or serious as you'd want.
Oh, I have one.
Okay, cool.
I'm Emily, and I'd like to solve stupidity.
Stupidity? Mm-hmm. How would you solve that? Or what's an idea?
I feel like forced education and hobbies, or like making some type of pill that you could eat where you're just magically smart and have common sense.
Like the Limitless pill?
Yeah, I've never seen that, but exactly.
Oh, it's a good movie with Bradley Cooper.
Yeah.
Cool. I like the idea of like just maybe not forcing people to have an
Yeah.
activity, but activity is 100%.
Requiring it.
Yeah, like people. I feel like I've been my best self when I have a hobby or something specific that I'm working on, rather than just not having a direction or
Yeah.
clarity on that.
Yeah,
I like that
agreed.
answer.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I'm Brandon. Nice to meet
Have a
you.
good one, Brandon.
Hi, sir. Could I ask you a question for a podcast? Could I ask you a question for a podcast? All good. Thank you. Hi, can I ask you a question for a podcast?
I gotta go.
All good. Can I ask you a question for a podcast? All good. So what's a problem in the world that you'd like to see solved? And it could be as silly or serious as you'd like.
World hunger.
World hunger?
Yeah.
Do you have an idea? Like, what's a way we could kind of take steps to help with that?
Yeah, I'm out of my element with that answer.
Well, I mean,
It would be great to solve, though.
yeah. I mean,
Climate change is up there. There's so many things.
yeah. I'm just looking for any kind of weird ideas or whatever, because like I don't think anything that big can be solved in one big one fell swoop or whatever.
Well, I mean, GMOs have come a long way, but I think people find them kind of controversial. I don't know. I think it kind of leads into climate change. Like a lot of forests and farmland is being eroded now with desertification.
Yeah. Do you feel
It's
like?
reversing that.
What are your thoughts on the fact that so much food goes to waste is part of the problem too? Like,
Pretty awful, yeah.
like if we had a better system that doesn't hinge on money as much, like people making money on food as much as it's sharing food. And I mean, there's still, of course, we're still going to have restaurants and be able to, spend money on food, but having that base level infrastructure for food, like I feel like would do the world good, right? Or,
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
'cause-
It's also just hard, like, there's so many perishables with supermarkets, like, an apple is only good for so long. And if nobody buys it, then you have to throw it out, right?
Yeah.
But I guess also is, like with food that's gone bad or wasted food, making sure it goes into soil,
That's a good point.
replenishing things the right way with it.
Yeah.
I feel like that could be done with a better effort.
Yeah. I'm from Cleveland, actually, and we have Rust Belt Riders. I'll do a quick shout out for them.
Yeah.
But they do composting for the entire city.
That's
And
cool.
It's
That's
it's
great,
really
yeah.
cool. I bet
Yeah.
that New York probably has something similar. Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, all right,
Cool.
good luck with your
Yeah.
podcast.
Thanks. Hi, could I ask you guys a question for a podcast? All good, thanks. Hi, can I ask you a question for a podcast?
What kind of podcast? Anonymous?
Yeah, it could be anonymous. My name's Brandon. You don't have to tell me yours. So, Fran, okay. So I have, I'm just asking people what's a world problem that you'd like solved. It could be as serious or silly as you'd like.
I mean, it's hard to pick just one, right?
I know, yeah.
I guess it would be like
Quick to remind you where
people being ruled by stereotypes
Yeah.
for how they behave. I mean, that would maybe make things a lot better if people kept an open mind
Yeah.
about what people are like, and not just one thing. I mean, there's a woman I work with, and she was a Trump supporter. Not, I would never have thought that.
I just
She's
spoke with someone that surprised me too.
A lovely woman, you know.
Same, yeah.
And I mean, and so I'm friends with her still, work friends, you know.
Sure.
That's all we ever were. But it's baffling. But I accept that, and you know, and I think so much of the vitriol we have in the world is just like not based on any individual. Just, I mean, you think of Trump and the left and this, and he hates it, and Democrats are evil. All this, that doesn't help anything.
Right. It's the otherism of anything in general.
I mean,
that's bad. Yeah.
I've never really thought of it as one thing because it's so many things, but I think like treating people, I mean, if you went back to the golden rule, you know, that everybody claims to be, I mean, people claim to be Christian and devout and all this stuff. Well, treat others as you would want to be treated.
Yeah.
And then that would help a lot of things too.
Yeah. Yeah, I grew up Catholic, and I don't like, I'm more spiritual now.
Yeah.
But I there's so much hypocrisy that like that people just inhabit, like that they just have with anything in general.
I mean,
and it's
truthfully, so I grew up protesting the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
And we were successul.
Yeah.
And campaigning for.
I went to Kent State too, by the way.
Oh, okay. Well, so.
Yeah.
What was I?
Sorry, I didn't mean to throw you off.
And I've been very, you know, involved in political campaigns, and even now writing letters to voters in Jersey and Virginia and things. But I kind of get how people turn off from it.
Yeah, I do too.
And if I didn't feel it was filled with nut jobs, like move to Idaho, you know. I mean, I get it, because your head can explode sometimes.
I grew up in Southeast Ohio, and it's very red county, and it feels like a lot of their anger is rooted from just feeling left behind and not taken care of. Like there was a bearing plant that shut down like 15 or 20 years ago in my hometown, and they just like hundreds, like 200 or 300 people lost their job in a town of 2,000 or 3,000 people.
Yeah.
And nothing filled that spot. Nothing was replaced it. And so then it's just they're angry, and the people that are speaking to their anger and giving them a scapegoat seem to be the Republicans on Fox News and stuff like that, unfortunately. And then it becomes an echo chamber.
All you watch
and
listen to,
it becomes your view,
And then,
because there's not diversity down there either.
No, I know,
and so,
because, well, I don't know. One of my sons went to IU in Bloomington, and we drove a couple of times through Ohio, and we stayed once. I don't remember where, but looking at the little local handout paper, and I'd never seen anything like this before. An ad. And it stuck with me all these years. If you need a dentist, do you need a doctor, do you need a lawyer? We guarantee our professionals are Christian and share your Christian values. And I thought, I don't really care what religious values. I just want a good dentist, a good lawyer, and a good doctor.
Yeah. It's like, why should that have to matter?
I'd never seen anything like it, but I grew up in Massachusetts, and I lived here for, since 1980. Not in the city since 84, but New York State since 80. So, I've never, and I was very fortunate to have very progressive parents for the time. I mean, not just for the time. My mother was very involved, and she ran for the school board, and she instituted this program. I mean, in hindsight, it's like a drop in the bucket, but where kids from inner city Boston went to school in the town where I grew up. Well, that got people, it was a tiny drop in the bucket, but she was instrumental in bringing that to our town.
Yeah.
So,
That's in the.
I'm lucky that I had those values, and my father supported her.
Yeah.
So,
and the little
both of
changes
them,
add up, and
Yeah.
they matter.
Yeah.
For sure.
So, and it was a big thing. I grew up in a pretty much lily white town, so
What does that mean? I've heard that actually, lily white.
everybody's white.
Okay, I grew up in that too. Then I didn't know.
Yeah. I mean, there was. At some point, an Asian family moved in, and they owned the Chinese restaurant. I mean, he was in my
Sure.
class, Doug.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was. There weren't really any minority
Yeah,
people living there.
My high school had one girl that was black.
Yeah, we
and,
didn't
and
have
she
any,
was a
yeah.
few years younger than me, but that kind of goes back to the rhetoric on Fox News and stuff like that. I feel like the people that are in like a lily white community, if their only information about people of different races is coming from Fox News and it's all negative, it's like a psychological thing or whatever. That's rewiring that perspective, and it's not right,
And that's
and
saying every fill in the blank person is a criminal, or every this person is a drug addict, or every this
putting
person
people in boxes
is in
and
the
stuff.
mafia, or so.
Yeah, too much stereotypes, like you're saying.
Yeah,
it's
so I
like
guess
putting
it all
people into
kinda
boxes and stuff. Yeah.
fills in.
Yeah.
But it's very depressing time, we're living
I'm
in now. And I have
it
2 young
is.
grandchildren, 2 children, and I really feel for them. And my older son teaches history in California, world history, but then also government. And I've been wondering, and I speak to him, how does he teach government now? Because everything I learned is thrown out the window.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's just constantly changing times.
Yeah.
I am still optimistic.
Well, that's good, because that's good.
I feel like the heat is definitely rising, but it's.
I don't know.
I feel like we're at a point where it's something's like there's going to be a big change, like a revolution type change.
Well,
I hope.
I know, but my husband, who lived through the first Trump administration, but not the second, he passed away
I'm sorry
in
to hear.
August of 2021. But he used to say, how long can the country survive under minority rule? And that's what we have.
Yeah.
Because
gerrymandering
when you read
and
polling, what people, they support gay marriage. They support I couldn't imagine owning a gun, but they support gun, some safety, some curbs on gun. They support
responsible
all these
gun
things.
ownership. Yeah.
And a woman's right to have agency over her own body.
Yeah.
And we have to say it, the Republican Party is ruled by a small, their right wing.
Yeah.
And, so how long can we go on like that?
Yeah, it's lasted longer than I expected.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I was
it's
so
terrible.
surprised that he got reelected.
It's terrible. And what's really terrible is that he won the popular vote. So that means, a small, but of our fellow citizens thought he was an appropriate person to be president.
Yeah.
I don't care how disenfranchised you feel. He is not an appropriate person. And I feel like he's just duped all these people that you mentioned from where the factory closed, because he doesn't give a shit. Excuse my language.
No, we can say anything on here.
People.
Yeah.
He doesn't care about them.
Right.
And why people thought he would, I don't understand it. I just don't understand it. Whatever flaws the Democratic Party has, Donald Trump and his cronies and his billionaire friends, they don't care about us.
Right.
They really only as vessels to make them more money.
They just want to keep the system
Which I
in the
think-
status quo.
Which I think is why we are probably going to have a socialist Democrat socialist, I don't know, as our next mayor.
Yeah.
And I understand it,
Yeah.
because it's kind of a reaction. Although I'm a little worried about that, but I mean,
I
hopefully
mean,
he'll be okay.
I loved Bernie. Like, I feel like Bernie,
Yeah, so
like,
he's a Bernie type.
yeah, and I just feel like it'll like it comes from a place of care, and it comes
Yeah.
from a place of valuing humanity over money.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's been
Yeah.
the teeter-totter that's going back and forth.
Yeah.
We need, like, too much emphasis is put on money right now,
Yeah.
because like, I remember arguing with somebody a few years ago. They said the stock market is how the world goes round, but the stock market shouldn't be as big of an interest
Well,
in
shouldn't be
everything.
the sole determinator, but when you think of it, a lot of people have like I work for the
I
city, I have a
understand, yeah.
pension, so a lot of people, middle class, and their retirement funds are wrapped up in the stock market. But
Yeah, but I guess, like, the fact that the stock market is controlled, like, it has a stake in healthcare and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Like,
certain things maybe shouldn't be for profit.
yeah.
But then again, I don't approve of killing the head of United Healthcare, no matter how bad. That's not a solution.
Understood.
And
yeah.
I'm not on. I'm on social media, but I don't. My algorithms don't go to that. Like, I don't approve of people cheering that or saying he deserved it. He's a peg, whatever. I don't know him, but he was a cog in a machine, and he didn't deserve to be shot down on the street. And people shouldn't be touting that as some great, accomplishment to shoot someone in cold blood on the sidewalk. Same with that Charlie Kirk. I didn't really know anything about him, but I read some of the things he agrees. I don't agree with any of it.
I don't agree with any of the violence,
but it's frightening. But we're a violent country, and
it's to the point, though, where it's. I'm not trying. I don't want to say the wrong thing. I don't agree with any of the violence, but I understand that if it happens, we have to at least understand the reality of why it happened, and take a collective thought with each other and realize, okay, why did Charlie Kirk get to that? Why did it? And I don't mean to be victim blaming either, so I hope it's not coming that way. But at the same time, a quote of his was, school shootings, if some school shootings happen, then it's still worth it if we keep the Second Amendment right.
Yeah,
and so the hypocrisy is just, that's the part that I feel like needs to be highlighted more, and is being highlighted more.
I think part of the issue with that is, that he's being given this treatment, Air Force 2, flags at half-mast, whatever, where students are killed in schools. The Democratic representative from Minnesota shot in her home.
Yeah.
And it's not, it's like it's all one side. And I just read the headline, because I pretty much avoided reading the front page of the Times for quite a while, that Trump doesn't care about trying to unify anybody on the message of, this is not the way to resolve our disputes.
Yeah.
He doesn't care about that. He's just demonizing, which is only going to make things worse.
Right.
I don't know. I find it. I'm glad you're optimistic. You're younger, so you'll, be more in control, and hopefully things will change. But
I hope so. That's all we can do right now,
Yeah.
and just take whatever steps possible.
And we're all flawed. Politicians are no different. Elected officials are no different.
Yeah.
And we have to accept that and just find the one that meets most of our hopes and expectations, because keep looking for the perfect person. You're never going to find it, and you're always going to be disappointed.
Yeah. Too many people forget about the intermediate steps of anything, too, and they
Yeah.
look for one one giant decision or change to fix everything, and that's not how things work in the world, you know. And
No.
it doesn't go from, you know, professional athlete doesn't go from, oh, I was in high school, now I'm in the NBA, unless
Right.
you're LeBron James, you
Right,
know. But
right,
like,
right. Right.
the intermediate, and even that, he had to put in thousands and thousands and
Right.
thousands of hours
Right. What
of
did
work
they say?
to get there.
10,000 hours.
Yeah, Malcolm
to
Gladwell.
Get,
Yeah.
Is that what he? Okay.
Yeah, 10,000 hours to master
what,
anything.
competent or master. So,
Yeah.
You know, very few people are masters, right? That's how they make it to the top.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
That and luck.
Yeah.
So, anyway,
Well,
good luck.
yeah, thank you, Fran. It was
Okay,
great to meet you.
bye-bye.
Bye. Hi, could I ask you a podcast question? Thank you. Hi, can I ask you guys a podcast question? All good. No problem. Hi, can I ask you guys a podcast question?
No thank you.
Okay, no worries. Hey guys, can I ask you a podcast question? Okay. All good. Hi, can I ask you a podcast question?
No, thank you.
Okay, all good. Hi, can I ask you a podcast question? No. All good. Can I ask you guys a podcast question? Cool. Hi, could I ask you guys a podcast question? All good. Can I ask you guys a podcast question? Hi, could I ask you guys a podcast question? It's simple. What's a world problem that you'd want to solve? It could be as serious or simple as you want. As serious or silly as you want.
Let's think silly. Hold on.
What's your name?
Chrissy.
Chrissy? Nice
Yes.
to meet you. I'm Brandon.
Nice to meet you. Maybe a better way for dogs to pee in the city, so I don't have to walk here every single day.
Oh, yeah. What's do you have an idea that could kind of help fix that?
No, not yet. I'm thinking. We got here 2 days ago.
Oh, okay. Are you from New York
We're
then?
from Texas.
Oh, okay. Are you
Yeah.
just visiting then?
No, we just moved here.
Oh, you moved here
Yeah.
2 days ago.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
nice.
figuring out the dog etiquette still.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm curious. What have you learned so far? Because I'm actually from Cleveland, but I've been here for a few days and I'm considering it now. But I have a dog too. So,
Well,
what's been the biggest hurdle? I
all
guess.
the flower beds say don't let your dog pee here, but there's nowhere else for them to pee unless
Uh-huh.
they pee in front of someone's door. But that also feels disrespectful. So
Yeah.
Just a
So
sidewalk.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but all the sidewalk has cars parked there. So
And do you find that your dog has to poop on the concrete sidewalk sometimes?
oh yeah, all
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
But that part's not the problem because
Oh,
you
really?
pick that up and throw it away. But
Sure.
the pee just creates puddles everywhere, you know.
Yeah.
So then there's just dog puddles everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I wonder.
So we gotta think on this issue.
Yeah. I don't know what they could do because if you would put a tree lawn, well, we call it a tree lawn, like a strip of grass
Yeah.
between the sidewalk and that'd be cool, but at the same time there's so much foot traffic that
Yeah.
the grass would go away instantly.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I don't know. That's a good thought to ponder on.
Yeah.
though.
That was my silly problem
Yeah,
that
do
needs
you
to
have
be
one?
fixed.
Oh my god, yeah, I don't know.
Why would they say something if it's going to
Probably have the same one
Yeah,
for
same
now.
problem.
Okay. What part of Texas did you move from?
Dallas.
Oh, cool. I have a buddy in Fort Worth I visited
Oh,
a
nice.
couple years ago.
Okay, cool. The
Nice.
stockyards.
Yeah, we went to the Stockyards. I saw
Yeah.
Wheeler Walker Jr. perform, and that
Wow.
was really fun.
Ah, exciting. Did you get boots?
No, I did wear a straw cowboy hat for a free one, but
Nice.
for
We love free.
for a good 10 minutes, and then I was like, "Can I pull it off?" And I just
Did you go to the rodeo?
no, we didn't go to
Oh,
rodeo.
you gotta
You
go back
gotta
for
go to
the
the
rodeo.
I've been to some rodeos. I grew up in Southeast Ohio,
Okay,
but
nice.
Like the Fort Worth
You're-
rodeo.
I'm
no.
sure,
That's
yeah.
a special
silly.
one.
Yeah.
Crazy place.
yeah, I figured.
Okay, well, good luck with your podcast.
Thank you, of course.
What's your podcast?
It's called Buffoon Banter. I mainly have interviewed. I do improv and stand-up in Cleveland, so
cool.
I've mainly been interviewing comics and other people in Cleveland for that. But I even interviewed a Ohio representative a few days ago, though. I've been in New York for a few days, so I figured I'm just going to interview people and just make it into an episode while I'm
Yeah,
here. So
nice. Well, I hope you get some world problems we can all solve.
thanks, I appreciate it. Yeah,
Have
take
a
care.
good one.
Hi. Would you want to interview or okay? Hi, would you like to answer a question for a podcast? Oh, good. Hi, would you guys like to answer a question for a podcast? No. Okay.
And what subject?
I'm just asking, as serious or silly as you'd like, a world problem that you think we could solve. A world problem. Serious or silly though.
Okay.
What's your name? You don't have to tell me if you don't want to.
Lilach.
Leela, I'm Brandon. Nice to meet
Hi,
you.
nice to meet you. And where are you from?
I'm from Cleveland. I've been visiting for a few days though.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and do you have a podcast?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's called BUFFoonBrandon Banter.
Okay.
If you'd like to check
and what
it out.
subject or?
Mostly it's been interviews. I've talked to I do improv and stand-up in Cleveland, so I've talked to other comics, but I also talked to an Ohio representative a few days ago, and I just like to have long-form conversations about the world and how we can kind of build connectedness and find a way to make the world better, I guess.
Okay. That's good. Okay. So, what do you want?
So just, do you have a problem?
I'm not American. Is it
Oh, where are you
problem?
from? Yeah.
Well, maybe it will change your attitude. I'm from Israel.
Okay.
So, all the connection point of view, we are a very connected community. And it's something that specializes us. So, okay, whatever you want to ask us.
What's a problem in the world you'd like to have solved?
For nowadays, I want to solve the problem of Israel with the war, with the hostages. I want all the hostages to be free and be at home, and that we'll be able to live our routine life. A huge problem.
Yeah, on both sides?
On both sides, yes. Well, it's so complicated, and I cannot answer this in just 2 sentences. It's
I understand.
so complicated. We must find a way that we'll be able to live safe life and peaceful life, and if we'll have a partner to discuss this, and we'll find a way to live together, fine. But now in the middle of the war, first we must end the war and bring back the hostages. And okay, this is a huge problem. Yeah.
Yeah. What is a way that we can, like, some steps that we can take to kind of accomplish that, I guess, to find peace? Because I guess I'm...
Yeah, first we should speak. This is, after Charlie Kirk died or was murdered, people must speak to each other, because there is no discussion at all, there's no dialogue, and this is the main problem. Because if we won't speak to each other, then we won't solve the things. So we must, all the time, while trying to find the solutions from above without speaking to each other, it doesn't work. We must speak to each other. And for that, you must be open-minded and be very modest, or not modest, like you must, you don't own the truth. You don't have a monopoly on the truth. And so you must be open-minded and to be ready to hear what the other side has to say. And
Yeah.
so this is something that you must try to do, but it costs, as you can see.
Yeah, I guess a monopoly on the truth. There's so much misinformation and everything that's going on, which is definitely part of the problem.
Of course. And when I'm from the academic world, and when I tell my students not to learn things from Twitter, just be professional.
Yeah.
Learn.
There's no
because-
scrutiny in
No,
that.
things are so much complicated than they seem in the Twitter, and all the slogans, all the Twitter. No, the reality is much more complicated. So you must dive into it and not just shout slogans or things like that. You must learn the issue and be open-minded to hear what the other side thinks, and both of the sides must be able or have the will to solve the problem.
Yeah, and I feel like part of the problem is we need to recognize that we're all human first, because like that's the only thing we really know for sure. Like we all have our different religions, and that's totally fine. We all should be able to have our own religions and everything.
But
dehumanizing the othering and the segregation of thought and the segregation of even politically, left versus right and everything. It's like manufactured division, divide and conquer tactics and stuff like that. And
we must be very patient, and we must be willing to hear. It's very hard today in this instant culture.
Yeah, I grew up in a very different, very right-leaning community in Ohio, and I lean very left. But I still can talk to a lot of the like I still have friends that are down there, and we differ on those ideas and stuff like that. But we can have that communication, and I believe that's like what you're talking about. That we need to be able to communicate with each other.
And also, it makes the world more interesting to have all this variety.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah, people are so scared of the unknown, and the unknown is talking to somebody that doesn't agree with you. Because if you're used to talking to someone you agree with, then you at least know what to expect with that conversation. But people are too afraid to. Oh, I don't know what's going to happen.
So this is the tough question. Now the silly one?
Sure, yeah.
In the workplace or what in the world? Silly problem? Silly problem in the world? Wow, this is a tough question. silly problem. בעיה מטופשת בעולם. There are only huge problems. Can attend with it. Silly problems. I don't know.
What type of work do you do?
What? I'm a historian.
Historian?
Yes.
What is a work problem then with that? Like, is it?
Well, the AI, but it's not a silly problem.
Yeah.
It's a huge problem.
I agree. Yeah. I feel like too many people are starting to lean on AI, and it's going to potentially contribute to people not knowing how to do the thing anymore.
It is going to change the world, and we don't know what the future will bring, but definitely it will be a revolutionary to the academic world and everything.
Yeah.
So, okay, we have enough huge problems. Let's try step by step.
Yeah.
Okay, it was nice talking to you.
Yeah, thank you. You too. What was your name again?
Lila.
Brandon, nice to meet you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Hi, could I ask you a question for a podcast? What's your name? Darnell? Brandon, nice to meet you. So my podcast, I'm just asking people, what's a world problem that you would like to see solved? Okay. It could be as serious or silly as you'd like.
Okay. I would say, it's a good question.
Thanks. I came up with it by myself.
I would say like the distribution of resources across the world, there's more than enough so that everybody can figuratively and literally eat.
Yeah.
But the distribution is so imbalanced, so I'd say that's something I'd like to solve or see solved.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. We have an abundance of resources that is almost like hoarded by a certain people, that like the billionaires and stuff like that, and they just dole it out as they see fit and want us fighting for scraps, almost like Mad Max is the have you seen Mad Max the movie?
I've not seen it, but I've heard of it.
Okay, so basically it's kind of the most extreme version of this, where there's one guy that controls all of the water, and he can just like open a valve and give it to people for like 20 minutes or a day, and then that's it, and then they're just like barely surviving. And if people are fighting for survival, they can't necessarily fight back as for all the atrocities that are actually going on, because their moment to moment is just fighting for survival. Yeah. And I know certain pockets of the world is more or less, and stuff like that, but it's still a version of it is happening everywhere.
Yeah.
What do you have a unique idea to kind of help solve that or anything?
Not currently.
Okay.
I wish I could click my fingers and everything would just be evenly distributed. But I think even something I've thought of recently is just going back to, I guess, how it used to be before, like before money, I suppose, was a thing, and people would literally trade resources that, say, someone had here but they didn't have elsewhere, but they'd swap resources that the other place didn't have. Kind of going back to that kind of way of living.
Yeah.
Because it's crazy. Like money is literally just, you know what I mean? It's digits on the screen. It's paper. It's coins.
Yeah. I wonder if, speaking on that, I wonder if it's like part of the stock market that's part of it, because like even digital currency could still have like a intrinsic value and everything, and you're trading the resources, equally. But when the stock market specifically balloons up arbitrarily, to make, this one hypothetical piece bigger than, worth more than, but where am I going with this? The value isn't necessarily there. Like if if I trade you, just to keep it simple, a loaf of bread for, a cupcake. I don't know. Just keeping pastries here, bread or whatever. Like that, those are like a one-to-one value or whatever you want to call it. But like whenever you have the stock market and everything, they're making money without providing any value. You know what I mean? And that's part of the problem. That's how the billionaires, I feel like they've gotten rich off of this system that encourages, if you have money, you can make more money easier because you already have the money, and you can keep making more money because you have the money, and you can keep changing things to make sure that you keep making more money. And then money is the focus rather than helping people and spreading those resources around. And so it's like almost like a teeter-totter of we need to balance it to where money and care for humanity is kind of at least equal. Like right now I feel like it's tilted towards money is the thing, and if you don't have money, well, just work harder and get it. And that's not good, because some people are just born into circumstances where they don't have it, and they have a tough time, and it's not their fault, and we need to kind of balance that out a little bit.
100, because I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like money is, because of the value placed on money, that's access, that's freedom. You know what I mean? You've got certain people who just love money for the sake of money. Mm-hmm. You've got other people who know that money provides opportunity to other things, so that's why they're driven to make money. And like for me, for example, I'd like to have a certain amount of money where it's like I can just do the things that I want to do, provide for, I don't have a family yet, but when I have a family, provide for them, rather than just having surplus for the sake of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, cool. It was really nice to talk to you. Are you from New York, or do you live here?
No, I'm visiting, so I'm originally from England.
Ah, cool.
I don't know if you've heard of Nottingham.
I've heard of it.
Yeah. Small city north of London, about 2 hours away.
Oh, cool. Yeah. How long are you in town?
I'm here, I leave a week today. So I arrived on Friday, so I'm here for just under 2 weeks.
Cool. What are some of the cool things you've been checking out or you're going to do?
So I'm going to do the touristy stuff, so hence walk through Central Park. Planning to be at the Statue of Liberty and that stuff, but I'm really into live music and poetry, so I definitely want to check out the music scene here, the poetry scene, see some comedy shows.
Nice. I just went to a couple UCB shows last night. You're familiar with UCB, Upright Citizens Brigade?
I haven't, no.
It's an improv and sketch theater, but Amy Poehler and a lot of the improv comics and stuff like that have gone through there and everything.
Nice. Whereabouts? Is that Manhattan as well?
It is southern. South Manhattan somewhere. I can't remember where exactly. I went to a show at the Comedy Cellar last night too, though. And
I've seen that. That's on my radar of places to try and visit.
Definitely.
How was that?
It was really cool.
Yeah.
I got to see Neil Brennan. If you know Neil Brennan, he was one of the co-creators of the Chappelle Show.
Oh, okay. Nice.
He was hilarious. Saw some other comics that I'd never seen before, but they're also great. And
Did you go in the evening? Was it like an evening show?
Yeah, the Comedy Cellar was the 11:30 show.
Okay.
The UCB, I went to the 7 and then the 9 o'clock show.
Okay.
So
I'll take note of the UCB.
Yeah, check out Asscat. It's ASSSSCAT is the name of the show.
But
But that
to repeat that one more time.
I will. Yeah, it's called Asscat.
Yeah.
ASSSSCAT.
Okay.
And so it's they bring in a monologist. So last night was an actor from White Lotus, if you've seen that, and it's a good show. It's on HBO, but he is one of the actors on it, and he gets a suggestion from the audience, and whatever the word is, suggestion, it reminds him of stories of his own life. So he just talks to people, tells people like 2 or 3 stories or whatever of his life, and then he goes off stage, and then the improvisers do improvised scenes based on the story that he just told, and they make it funny. And I gotta say, it was an amazing, hilarious show. Definitely check it out. UCB is so fun.
Nice.
And there's so many like you never know who the monologists will be too. You might have someone really cool that you know, and just be like, oh, nice. But it's a cool theater. And I went to the Stand a few nights ago too. That was a cool little comedy club.
As well.
Yeah, it's a small room, but it's a really nice bar. Like it's pretty upscale and everything, and the comedy was fun.
Nice.
But yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna take a look at all of them, man.
Of course.
See which one I can make. How long have you been doing your podcast?
Just a couple months now. So it's relatively new. It's called BUFFoonBrandonBanter. If you want to check it out.
Yeah.
It's on Spotify and YouTube. This is audio only. I was trying to do video earlier, but it wasn't really working, so I'm just doing audio today. But I do stand-up and improv in Cleveland, and
Is that where you're from?
Yeah, I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. I've been here since Thursday. I'm flying back out tomorrow afternoon.
Okay. Okay, cool.
I came in to see some comedy, and I'm an actor too, so I was doing a scene contest here in the city, and had fun with that. And we didn't win, but we did well, and so I was just happy to have that experience, and stuff. And I'm still relatively new to acting and stuff like that, so it's fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've mostly been interviewing like other comics and stuff like that. But I interviewed Ohio House Representative a few days ago, and we had a great conversation about government and just like everything. It was just, but it's been really fun. And, and so I figured I'm just going to talk to people here and just make an episode of it. So
yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to see what other people have to say, and probably even use that some of your material.
I've had some really cool conversations, some surprising ones and stuff, but all in all, it's been great. And I've really enjoyed talking to you, Darnell, right?
Yeah,
cool. Hope you enjoy the rest of your stay here.
Thanks, you take care.
Thanks, you too. Would you guys want to answer a question for a podcast? All good. Hi, would you guys want to answer a question for a podcast? All good. Hi, would you want to answer? Okay, all good. Are you from Cincinnati?
My husband is.
Okay, I'm from Cleveland. I just. Hi, would you want to answer a question for a podcast? Thank you. All good. Would you guys want to answer a question for a podcast? All good. Would you guys want to answer a question for a podcast? All good. Hi, would you want to answer a question for a podcast?
No.
All good. Do you guys want to answer a question for a podcast? Good. Hi. Would you want to answer a question for a podcast? All good. No problem. Would you guys want to answer a question for a podcast? All good. Do you guys want to answer a question for a podcast?
Oh, thank you.
All good. Do you guys want to answer a question for a podcast? All good. Would you like to answer a question for a podcast?
I'm okay, man. Thank you.
All good. Do you guys want to answer a question for a podcast? All good. Would you guys want to answer a question for a podcast? All good. Would you guys want to answer a question for a podcast? All good. Would you guys want to answer a question for a podcast?
Yeah, when someone gets
All
up
good.
there, they're like,
You guys want to answer a question for a podcast?
no.
All good. Do you guys want to answer a question for a podcast? All good. Would you guys like to answer a podcast question?
No thanks.
All good. Hi, would you guys like to answer a question for a podcast? Would you like to answer a question for a podcast? Would you guys like to answer a question for a podcast? All good. Would you like to answer a question for a podcast? All good. Would you like to answer a question for a podcast? All good. Would you guys like to answer a question for a podcast? All good. Would you like to answer a question for a podcast?
Sorry.
All good. Would you guys want to answer a question for a podcast? Would you guys like to answer a question for a podcast? All good. Would you guys want to answer? Do you guys want to answer a question for a podcast?
Sure.
What's your name?
Evan.
Brandon. Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you.
So I'm just asking people, what's a world problem that you'd like to see solved? It could be as serious or silly as you'd like.
Inequity.
Inequity. I appreciate that. What's kind of some steps that, or an idea like to kind of address that? A unique one.
Getting the entire world to have clean, drinkable water and nourishment.
Yeah.
Those two things.
I 100% right. Yeah, like I was just talking to somebody a minute ago about the abundance of resources and how it's hoarded and not like distributed, even though we have the ability to provide all of these things, the food and water, which should be human rights.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Nobody chose to be born, so we have to take care of each other. You
Exactly.
know?
Totally agree.
Yeah. Well, cool. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Good to meet you. Good luck with the podcast.
Thanks. Appreciate it. Excuse me. I forgot to say, it's called BUFFoonBrandon Banter if you want to check it out.
What is it?
BUFFoonBrandon Banter if you want to check it out.
Brandon Banter.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Cool.
All
Take
right,
care.
Thanks again.
Thank you.